Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Mary Sandra, aka Designer Special. So today I'm talking about tips to passing Ican examinations. So we'll just jump right in. So first of all, I've written down 6 tips I believe will enable each and every one of us to be successful, especially accounting graduate and prospective Ican students. When you apply this, you have success in your Ican examination by the grace of God. So first things first, you have to be disciplined. Being disciplined applies to our everyday life basically. So when in relation to Ican examinations, you have to set your timetable and stick to it. I've mentioned in the earlier video that set timetable and give more time to courses that are your weaknesses and less time to courses that are your strengths. So being disciplined in this sense means that when you have set a timetable and a target for yourself, you try as much as possible to stick to what has been set. If your reading time says you read for 4 hours from maybe 12 to 4 p.m., it means you stick to it. So if peradventure there is this very interesting football match you are watching and it is time for study, then you have to just go and study. So that's what being disciplined basically means. Then secondly is attend tutorials. I know that a lot of persons have actually passed their examination without attending tutorial, but in my personal opinion, I feel what tutorial does is this time it takes you to understand the topic. Attending tutorials saves you a lot of time. So if for instance you are studying on IFRS 2, or let's say for instance IAS 2, which is inventories, the time it will take you to understand what IAS 2 entails on your own, tutorials break it down for you and make it easier for you to understand rather. So when I was writing my Ican examination, I ensured that I attended tutorial at Port Harcourt Hotech Ican Training Center. So I attended tutorial because I found out that I'm someone that I easily comprehend what someone says than when I read on my own. So it's always easier. For instance, if I'm writing my examination, I find it very easy to remember that illustration the tutorial person made in class than I find it very easy to remember it. So illustrations, personal discussions with your colleagues in the class, and maybe an example that was given which was very funny, you can easily remember it and it makes you comprehend faster. So tutorials cannot be overemphasized. It is very important. But hey, if you are someone who can read on your own and you feel you prefer reading alone and you are going to scale through, maybe because your undergraduate days you already have a solid background in your undergraduate days, it is fine. Stay back and read. I know a lot of persons who did not attend tutorials, especially at the skills level, and they were able to pass the 4 courses. But I attended tutorials because I was working, even as a core member, I was working 6 to 6 and I had less time to even open my book. So I knew that tutorials will help bridge the gap. So tutorials are very, very important. So thirdly, you have to delay gratification. I cannot talk extensively, or I can't talk as much as I want to talk in this. As an Ican student, you have to delay gratification. It is not possible to serve 2 masters at a time, and it has always been said that Ican is a jealous lover. You can't share Ican with another thing, especially when you know you are working and you are studying. During Ican examinations, I sacrificed a lot. Number one, there was nothing like social media. I was not going on Facebook, I was not WhatsApping, I was not Twittering. Permit me to use the words. I neglected social media and every other fun fair I was actually supposed to enjoy as a core member. I could remember myself even during my CDS days, it was always on Thursdays, and I knew CDS was 10 to 12, and CDS days are like my free day. So sometimes I even pay lateness fee. I go late to CDS for me to have enough time to study. That 2 hours was very important to me. So CDS closes by 12, I'll be coming to CDS by maybe 11:50 because I've achieved 1 hour 30 minutes of my study. Is my state coordinator listening to it, right? My NYSC certificate is already in my bag. So I feel you have to delay gratification. You cannot want to party You want to watch your favorite TV program that will take you long hours, not that you want to watch a program which maybe you need it to ease off maybe after studying for a long while, and you want to pass your Ican examinations and you want to achieve the best you are. Especially when, for instance, you are writing the whole courses in each diet. Some things have to go for Ican to come. And at the end of it all, when you finish writing your examinations, you have enough time to do whatever you want to do. So delayed gratification cannot be overemphasized. You must delay a lot of things. You must set your priorities right, scale of preference. What and what can I let go for me to have enough time to study? Then after my kind of examinations, I will go back to them. So this point cannot be overemphasized. A lot of things have to be kept aside for Ican for you to have enough time to write your examination. So you have to delay gratification. So next is, do not skip any diet examinations. It is very important. Ican is an examination that when you start, it is not advisable to skip any diet examination because the zeal can easily die off. So even if it means writing just a paper, a course in each diet, please do. I have one of my colleagues during my NYSC days was telling me that he skipped a diet, and because he skipped one diet, he did not write any Ican examinations until maybe 2 years later. So he already found out that a lot of his friends had already written the exams, they were already qualified, but he had to struggle to go back and start remembering what he had already forgotten. And you know one thing about accounting is that accounting is very dynamic. It changes every day. So if you skip a diet, maybe you are writing something like, you're writing a course like financial reporting, and you skip a diet and the standard has changed. From skipping one diet, you skip 2, you skip 3, the next thing you find yourself you have skipped 4. When you are coming back to write the examinations again, you discover that IS2 inventory is no longer the higher of the lower of cost and net realizable value, is now the higher of. So standards may have changed. So it's not advisable to skip any diet because the zeal may drop and standards may change, events may occur, and you may find yourself not writing the exams again. I have a lot of friends who have started this Ican journey and skip diet, and bet me, especially the ladies, my fellow ladies, they skip the diet and today they have not written exam. They are now even married and they are no longer interested they don't have the zeal to write again. And maybe when that zeal will come up, maybe when they are working and they need their certificate, they will be struggling to go back. That's why you see women in their 40s trying to understand what would have been easier for them to if they were much younger. So it is always advisable, don't skip any direct examination. Then also, always pick up after a failure. I tell people, a lot of persons that if you fail a course in like an examination and you go back again, you become a master of it. Take for instance, the man who invented bulb, the light, he failed 99 times and now he is the master of it. So don't be discouraged after failing a paper. I have a friend who wrote 5 papers, the 5 papers at professional levels. He failed 4, he passed just 1. He was so demoralized. I had to be the one to keep calling him, encouraging him. Sometimes I even had to sacrifice my own sleeping time just to make sure that I call him at midnight for him to study. So please, failure is not the end of life. Failure even makes us become better. It makes you, when you fail, when you fail and you try again and you finally succeed, you have a success story to tell people. And that's one thing about Ican. You always have a success story to tell. Most of the lecturers who taught us in our tutorial center will always tell us, I failed SFM in such a way that at a point I knew everything word for word, line to line in my SFM pack. So please, failure is not the end. Failure is not the end. Always pick up yourself when you fail. And also, that's why I keep emphasizing on the need for you to have a good support system, because these are people who are going to encourage you when the going gets tough. When you fail a course, you have people to encourage you. It can be your friends, it can be your colleague, it can be your family member, it can be anybody. So it's always important to have a good support system and to be encouraged. Failure is not the end of the world. A lot of us have failed. I, for one, I have failed. I have failed in such a way that at the point I was doubting my certificate. But here I am today, encouraging others, using my story to encourage people. So hey, when you fail, do not sit back and relax. When you fail, you have a success story to tell to people. So failure is not the end of the world. Then also, I save the best for the last. Be prayerful. You have to pray. It is not by power nor by mind, but by the grace of God. Prayer is very, very important. Do the much you can do and back it up with prayers. Till this day, my SFM examinations, I keep asking, and I just know that it was just the grace of God that enabled me to scale through that paper. Because it can never be by my power or by my mind. Even most times, a month to the examination, even a week, no matter how hard you have studied, you can never beat your chest and say, okay, I am 90% prepared for this paper. Except maybe that was the only paper you prepared for. So we always have these uncertainties. And this not enough feeling, even weeks before our exam. Even on the day of the exam, you see people scrolling, opening their books, trying to see if they can pick the final points. So please, that's why it is when our power fails, we need a higher power, and that higher power needs to be the power of God. So it is always important to be prayerful, because God is the one that gives ultimate success. But please, you must have done your own part very well, and now be dependent on the grace and the power of God. And I keep telling people, the grace of God is very sufficient, so don't even use that as an excuse. His grace of God is very sufficient. Just key into it. Do the best you can do and leave the rest for God. I keep saying it, is a very, very easy examination, because at the end of it all, nothing is going to be said outside the syllabus. Most times they even bring questions from the examples given in the pack. So it only boils down to do your best and leave the rest. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you, be disciplined, attend tutorials. It is very important. Delay gratifications. You cannot want to be partying. You cannot want to still party. No, I can't do without going to this place or that place. I can't do without watching this my favorite Philippine soap opera or Mexican soap opera. And you want to have enough time to study. And if you are someone who knows that within yourself, as someone that you can be on Facebook, Twitter, or WhatsApp for 10 hours at a stretch, and you want to have enough time to study, it won't work that way. So you have to delay gratification. Delay gratification. Set aside every barbages just so that you can achieve your set target. Do not skip any kind of examinations. Once you start skipping, you keep skipping. When you continue skipping, you find it difficult to come back. And because accounting is a very dynamic course which changes every day, you may be struggling to understand that which you would if you had not skipped any direct examination. So even if it means writing just a paper in each diet, it is better according to your strength and your capacities. You know the best. If it is 2 you can write at that moment, especially when you are working full time or your work is very demanding, flow with it. Then also be prayerful. So I feel with these little points of mine, I have been able to convince you and not to confuse you that 1, Ican exam is easy. 2, you can achieve your set goal and target if you are ready to put in the work. 3, nothing is impossible by the grace of God. So everything is very much possible and within our reach. We just have to grab it. The grace of God is already there. Key into it and it will work for you. And success will be our portion in Jesus' name. Amen. So like this video, share, comment. If there are other tips you feel you will recommend to people, click on the comment section and we'll learn from each other. Next week I'll be doing a video sending my good wishes to all Ican students. Bye.